let's get to you now. Let's get back to you. So what are you planning to do on this winter break? Assume you have a break as well, Professor. You get a break?
Okay, yeah, so I wouldn't necessarily call it a break. I'm still here.
Yes.
We've got the program director responsibilities. We've got a lot of big things coming up. There's course planning for the spring, like I said.
Yep.
One of my big things after every class that I do is I debrief, right? And I meet with students, I talk with students, and say, what went well? What didn't go well?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm under no illusions, right? I mean, nothing's ever the ideal scenario for 200 students. Come on, but we can do it. We can make it there, right?
Yeah.
And so what can we do better next time? And I want to give the students a hand in crafting that experience for you guys, right? Next time around.
Yep.
So there's that. On the side right now, I'm working on personal projects. I'm working on a couple of things. I've got most of you will be familiar with like ChatGPT and things like that.
Oh, yes, we are.
I'm working on maybe Stable Diffusion, which is an image generator. And so I'm actually, as we speak right now in the background, currently training a custom branch of Stable Diffusion on pictures of me, so I can generate deep fakes and make it look like I go on vacation.
That's your plan for the winter break?
Well,
creating deep fakes?
Well, it's interesting because my background in cybersecurity, I'm very, very, very intrigued by the dangers of kind of deep fakes and what that means, right? And so the best way to familiarize yourself with it is to do it, right? And so I'm going to see if I can do that and hopefully not generate something that looks like a total nightmare. And then I'm working on I 3D print, and so I've been doing some modeling and 3D printing to build some mini computers that are a little bit more portable to help with cybersecurity pen testing. I'm working on a reference book that I'm writing, and we're doing a lot. It's going to be fun. And then of course, my wife would be upset at me if I didn't mention I have my 1-year anniversary with my wife coming up next month, and so we'll probably go somewhere nice for that.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's nice. Are you watching anything?
Me? Yes. So my wife and I, what were we just finishing watching? We just finished on Netflix. We were watching the Wednesday Addams Family show.
Yeah.
My wife really wanted to watch it. It was good. I enjoyed it. My wife and I, every weekend we wake up and we hop on Hulu, and my wife's a teacher as well. She teaches elementary school, and so naturally we watch shows like My Hero Academia. Superheroes as teachers, come on. Can't get any better than that.
He's the All Might to my Deku.
I mean, overall, I always ask my students, what are you watching? Last year, everybody was on, it was big Squid Game this time of year, last year, fall of oh my gosh.
Crazy.
Huge. Yes. And so, we like to connect with students on those sort of things and give recommendations and take recommendations. So we're all human, right? We gotta, there's work, and then there's the rest of it, right? And so we gotta make sure we're doing that.
Hence the question. What you're doing and what are you up to these winter breaks? So mine started just now. I'm going to be watching Wednesday. I'm going to be continuing My Hero Academia as well, and I'll probably pick up some other shows.
Yeah, there was a show. Oh gosh, what were we?
Recommendations?
There was a show I was going to recommend, and I can't quite remember off the top of my head. Come back to it, right? I'll think on it.
We'll get back to it.
Yeah. But anyways, when you get here, I'll have way too many recommendations. There are a lot of media buffs here as professors.
We're going to get back to another very important question. A lot of people have asked me about this, and it just keeps echoing as I'm the student ambassador, I get this question a lot. So can we talk about the financial aid, assistantships, and the opportunities that students can expect when they're here at UB School of Management?
Yeah. And so, I'm sure that some of you, if you're in the process right now, or you've already gone through the process of the F1 visa and things like that there are a lot of nuances to kind of those rules. And so when you get to campus, right, there are opportunities. Right, to work on campus, like campus dining and shops, which, right, you are working with campus dining and shops this semester. And outside of that, there are positions as a student assistant or a graduate assistant. We've got one student in the program right now who's a GA over with our International Student Services office. I think you've got something in the pipeline too that we're not going to talk about right now. But there may be some things in the pipeline as well. I think one of the things to understand about that, though, because there's a lot of stress and we'll get a lot of emails leading up to it, is that most of the time when there's like assistantships or graduate assistants or even jobs on campus with like CDS, most of those things you don't have to worry, you shouldn't be worried about, you don't have to worry about until you arrive, right? Because they're not usually hiring until much closer to the semester start and things like that. So, you know, I'll get a lot of panic emails in April, like, I'm behind, I don't have an assistantship yet, and don't panic, right? Most of that stuff doesn't actually happen. Most of those opportunities don't even become communicated or available until closer to the semester.
That's correct, because I am getting questions from people talking about the CDS as well. So I've been working in CDS for like 4 months now at this point. And someone they just straight up asked me, like, even before applying to the university, like, can I get the link to apply for CDS?
Yeah.
I'm like, you won't be able to log into that because you don't have any UB credentials yet.
Correct.
When they are generated, then maybe you can log in, but then there's no point because I myself didn't know about CDS, and when I landed here, I got to know about it, I applied for it, and I got the job.
Yeah.
That's an on-campus job, and it's really nice, really flexible. It's really good for students, like, because they work with students all the time, and they know how to deal with students, their schedules, their exams, and everything. It's been a great ride. Like, it's a great experience learning and to work at CDS. So,
no, absolutely. And you know, these opportunities exist, and again, I want to you know, again say, you know, if you're stressed about it, I understand, right? I completely get that, and two, don't be, easy for me to say, right? Don't be, because those things come up as you land, right? And as you get here and you familiarize yourself with campus dining and shops and these opportunities that exist, and the student assistant and grading positions and things like that may open up as you're here, there is a measure of seeking them out, right? But we're here to help you.
Perfect. So that's about that. And let's talk about this as well, because this is a question that I get a lot after this, and it's about the CPT and the OPT options for the international students.
Yes.
And what do they have? What do they have options when they graduate? Like, what kind of options do we have when we
graduate? Yeah. So the MS Business Analytics program isn't set up for CPT, right?
Correct.
It is an OPT only kind of program with the STEM extension. With the STEM, because it's a STEM eligible program, right? So you get 3 years, right? You know, and that's all handled by our absolutely wonderful International Student Services team here at the university. And so what winds up happening is, for the 10 months that you're here, or 11 months, or whatever, how many months? That's where we get the timing.
That's why
for the summer, fall, and spring semester leading up until graduation that you're here. That makes it a lot easier, right? You are you're in classes. Maybe you're working with CDS. Maybe you're working with an assistantship. But there is no internship requirement as part of this program. It's not an option because CPT doesn't exist here. Once you graduate, you're free to launch your OPT, and most people transition into a full-time job role. Now, the next question that I get, if I can do a little bit of predictive analytics here.
Right here. Let's go.
The next question that I get is, if I don't get an internship, how do I get a job?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
and this is so common that we get this question. And the one thing that I will say is, and it took me a while of engaging with students to really understand where that question was coming from. But you in many cases, the expectation here isn't that you have an internship that leads into a job role. The expectation is that you have the knowledge, the foundations, and the exposure and the experience. And the degree, things like practicum, that's more experiential. Things like our applied domain flex core that you'll see, where you could go into healthcare or marketing or cybersecurity or people or whatever it is in analytics applied, they're designed to give you these experiential opportunities, which is such a buzzword that you'll hear in the academic sector, right? Experiential meaning you get to work with real use cases, real data, real problems, oftentimes on behalf of real companies that are partnered with the university providing these as academic projects. And so you're getting this experience and this exposure through your day-to-day with the classes. That way when you graduate, you're already primed for that full-time role, right? And so sure, you can launch your OPT and go for an internship if you want, right? But the expectation isn't that. The expectation isn't that you complete the internship or an internship or get an internship or anything like that. It's not built into the model. So don't worry about that and kind of focus on the main prize at the end. That's the dream job. Yep.
That's perfect, because I think this is a question that comes a lot because people think of two kinds of MS degrees when they come here. One which has like 2 years of completion, which is like a lot of MS degrees. But then there is another MS degree like ours, which is like under 1.5 years, and there's a possibility that you might not be able to launch your CPT in that. But then personally, like if I have to think about it as a student myself, like studying here, I would rather target a full-time job and get the salary amount that I deserve for that position with my experience, than to get back into an internship.
Yeah. And there is an opportunity cost, right? To your point, there are 2+ year MS degrees, right? And those will often, right, have the internships built in, and there's nothing wrong with those, right? The co-op programs and things like that. You know, they're designed to kind of fit those in. From our perspective here, you know, we recognize that a lot of the students who are coming here, they want the focused degree. They want the I don't want to call it quick, but they want a shorter path to completion, so they can start getting in and earning the money and getting into those job roles in advance, or going back if they're coming from a current job role, is getting back into it and entering in at that elevated level, right, as quickly as possible. And this program is designed to do that.
So yeah, I think that, for some people, this is kind of, it goes two ways. So for some people, a shorter degree is kind of something that makes them nervous. But then for me, I chose this degree because it was only like 9 months of study.
Yeah, and we've been doing it like this since, gosh, I was a student. So over 10 years, 12 years, 13 years successfully, right? And we've got the alumni pool that we can introduce you and tap into to really help you to understand that this is a successful model. Otherwise, we would have swapped back to the 2+ year model years ago.
Perfect. So I see a lot of LinkedIn activity coming from you. You reacting to all the certification badges. What is happening with that? Like, how about the networking part of the courses and how to reach out to a professor? Like, maybe you can talk about the LinkedIn aspect of the degree.
Yeah.
I see that you're very active on LinkedIn. Maybe
We're a school management, right? And school management, you will. I think I'm legally obligated through the School of Management to say the word networking at least once every hour, or else I'm fired. Jokes aside, right? You'll see me active quite frequently on LinkedIn, and that's because I have a network, right?
Now. If I open my LinkedIn app right now, it's all you.
Probably.
For sure.
I have an active network, right? One, and I've cultivated that network for my years in industry. And when my students do awesome things, I will post for reach. I'll repost, I'll comment, I'll like, and you know, there's that aspect of it, right? Our alumni are also on platforms like LinkedIn, but they're also in the School of Management. We have an alumni engagements office too, right? That is actively engaged with bringing alumni into classes, to events and things like that to engage. And then some of our students will just find alumni at companies they're interested in and reach out, and you'll find we have a really close-knit community. And so, you know, we try to really allow our networks to benefit one another, right, throughout this, to really make the connections that will help you get that job, you know?
I can feel it already because I see a lot of UB people, UB graduates at LinkedIn, and I see that I can probably reach out to them if I need any kind of help. And so can all of you when you reach here. So let's move on to the final question of this interview. It's been great. And we thought of it being like 30 minutes, and it's 57 right now.
I know, I talk a lot.
We love it. We are going to take all of it. I think everyone watching it is going to consume all of this content. They're going to love it. So it's been great so far. And the last question to you, Dominic, is the students watching this who are coming next year, like in their semester, respective semester, whatever the admits they've received, what should be their expectation when they arrive, like about the program, about the curriculum, about the place and everything? What do you want to say to them? Like, this is your final question. So,
that's a good one. I would say we have a lot of opportunities available, right? There's a lot of courses that you can take, as you know, that you can elect to take and things like that. The one thing that I want to say when you get here is, one, I'm going to say something cliche like, be ready to learn, right? Which I guess, again, a legally obligated thing to say as a professor. But moreover, I would say, be prepared to explore, right? There are a lot of opportunities here. And you might come in and say, I've got no cybersecurity interest. I'm not interested in that. I've never taken a cybersecurity course. I know nothing about it. And then I might say, go take cybersecurity analytics. Try it, right? Because right now, this degree is your chance to explore. The reason why I'm so big on that, right, is when I was a student in our MIS program, because we didn't have an MSBA program back then. I was an MIS master's student, and I was working toward a health IT, HIT, right? Just taking all these healthcare courses and things like that. And I just happened to be given this advice by another professor who is at the university still, Professor Dave Murray, an excellent mentor of mine, the mentor of mine, and he said, why don't you take this course in information security? And I said, nah, I'm good. And then he's like, no, you should take it. and I took it.
Yeah.
And then my entire career was in cybersecurity. I loved it so much, right? All because I took someone's advice and I explored something that was out of my comfort zone that I wouldn't have otherwise explored.
Yes.
And we strive to provide that sort of opportunity to you because now is the time. Now is the time to explore those options, those domains, those topics that you wouldn't have necessarily explored before.
Not even known about. Like that's what you're here for, right? Like exploring and getting to know things. Like maybe find your new path into this, like Dominic did years ago.
Yeah. It was transformative. I mean, my whole entire career was reshaped by one small choice, right? And I thought that was really powerful. So that's
looking at my courses right now. I think I need to have a chat with you right after this. So it is a little bit confusing for me as a candidate here as well, and choosing my spring courses. So I have to reach out to professors like you and get to know about it. And let me assure you guys, like everyone's here to help you. Everyone wants you to succeed. Everyone wants you to be a part of it, and this is what it's all about. The School of Management.
Yep, that's exactly it. We're all in it. We're here together, and we're here for you. So.
All right, so that concludes the interview. Thank you so much.
Excellent. No, thank you.
You're an excellent guest.
Thank you.
It was very important. Like when I saw his interviews back then, it was very important for me to interview. Like I didn't think this moment would come, but then now we've come to this, and I can't believe that this interview is getting over. And, all right, so yeah.
No, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you guys for watching. Drop your comments in the question. Like, all right, drop your questions in the comments, and we'll get to that. I'll talk to Dominic, and I'll get your questions cleared.
Looking forward to it. Thank you, everyone. Yeah.